countdown is on for Monday's historic total solar eclipse. Tens of millions of people from Texas to Maine will see the sun completely blocked by the passing of the moon.
April 8th, 2024 is destined to be one of the most spectacular days in recent history. On that fateful morning, the sun, moon, and Earth will come into perfect alignment, treating North America to one of the greatest sky shows of our lifetime for a brief moment. Day will surrender to twilight as the moon's shadow races across the continent, but this is no ordinary eclipse. The sun is nearing the peak of its 11-year cycle, priming itself for maximum fury and volatility. As the sun's blazing disk is blocked from view, its true nature will be revealed. Gigantic prominences, towering coronal loops, and bursts of energy on a scale we can barely see could be unleashed. For scientists, it's the opportunity of a generation to unravel the sun's deepest mysteries, and for you, it's a front-row seat to witness the awesome power and spectacle that has fueled life on Earth for billions of years. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Clear your calendars for April 8th, 2024 and get ready for the eclipse of a lifetime. However, here are some spectacular events you need to consider when viewing the sky on April 8th, 2024. 1. Solar prominences. Solar prominences are gigantic structures that appear as bright red or pink clouds extending out from the sun's surface. They can stretch over hundreds of thousands of kilometers high into the sun's atmosphere. Prominences form over regions on the sun where the magnetic field lines are strongly arched and twisted. The plasma trapped within these twisted lines remains relatively cool compared to the surroundings, glowing brightly. The sun's magnetic field constantly shifts and changes in strength over the approximate 11-year solar cycle. Near the peak of activity called solar maximum, the field becomes much more complex with interacting lines crisscrossing the surface. This leads to greater instability and more opportunities for plasma to be lifted up high in prominences. So prominences tend to be larger and more numerous when solar activity is highest compared to solar minimum years. During a total solar eclipse, the new moon blocks out the bright solar disk, which is millions of times too bright for our eyes to otherwise view the corona and prominences. Against this much dimmer background, the prominences really stand out, appearing as dramatic red flames or bright pink plumes arcing across the sky. Their complex looping structures can be observed that are usually impossible to see otherwise. Because the 2024 eclipse coincides with solar maximum, astronomers expect to see some of the most massive and active prominences in years. 2. Coronal Mass Ejections CME. Coronal Mass Ejections, or CMS, are truly gigantic eruptions that can release the energy of billions of hydrogen bombs. When the intense magnetic fields and plasma burst forth from the sun's outer atmosphere, they form vast clouds that expand rapidly outward at speeds over 1 million miles per hour. CMS often appear during solar flares, but can also occur independently in active regions on the sun. If observers are lucky, a CME could occur in the critical minutes right before, during, or after the total solar eclipse in 2024. Against the darkened backdrop of the moon's disk, the enormous glowing clouds of a CME might be visible to the naked eye or through small telescopes. Some past eclipses have afforded stunning views of these magnetic tempests emerging from the sun. Because CMS can span over hundreds of thousands of miles wide, different locations along the path of totality may see different structures or stages of evolution as the eruption propagates through space. Scientists are eager to observe CMS during a total solar eclipse because the brief window allows studying their initiation and early expansion near the sun. This can provide new insights into the poorly understood physical processes that lead to their enormous releases of energy. CMS also represent the main driver of severe space weather near Earth. Understanding their launch and propagation from observations may help improve forecasting of geomagnetic storms that can damage satellites and power grids. Even a fleeting glimpse of the sun unleashing a CME during the 2024 eclipse would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for observers and a valuable data point for scientists. 3. Solar flares, in addition to prominences and CMEs. Observers of the 2024 total solar eclipse may catch a glimpse of powerful solar flares. Flares are sudden flashes of increased brightness on the sun that appear near active regions with tangled magnetic fields. They represent the most violent explosions in our entire solar system. The energy released during a single flare is equivalent to many millions of 100 megaton hydrogen bombs. Solar flares occur when magnetic field lines become twisted and intertwined below the surface. A reconnection event then causes the plasma trapped within to heat up suddenly to temperatures greater than 100 million degrees Celsius. This superhot plasma emits a wide spectrum of radiation, including bright flashes of light visible to the naked eye if powerful enough. Flares also accelerate highly energetic particles that can impact Earth within minutes. While solar flares are difficult to predict, periods of high sunspot activity and CME eruptions make them more likely to occur. The 2024 eclipse coincides with a peak in the sun's 11-year cycle, presenting a better-than-normal chance of witnessing one of these dazzling explosions of energy. Even a fleeting glimpse of the sun's surface briefly becoming many times brighter during totality would provide an unprecedented viewing experience. Additionally, any solar flare data captured could give insight into what sparks their ignition and how that energy is released. Safety protocols during the partial phases before and after totality are especially important, as the brightening of flares may occur without warning. But an opportunity to observe this spectacle of nature's raw power firsthand would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both amateur astronomers and scientists seeking to understand our star. 4. CATE 2024 Powerful Telescopic View. CATE 2024 stands for Citizen Continental America Telescopic Eclipse, an effort to create a continuous live video of the solar corona,
so that we can make observations of the eclipse of totality.
This will be accomplished by linking up dozens of identically equipped telescopes positioned at carefully timed intervals along the 70-mile wide path of totality as it crosses the continental United States. Professional and amateur astronomers will operate specialized cameras attached to telescopes set up at each site. By starting observations in advance from the first location to see totality and ending after the last, the continuous live stream could run for over an hour. This would allow solar events to be tracked for much longer than the brief 2 minutes visible from any single spot. The coordinated observations will also capture the corona and outer solar atmosphere from different perspectives, providing stereoscopic views not possible with single vantage points. 5. Viewing glass experience. While witnessing the wonders revealed by the 2024 solar eclipse promises to be a visually stunning experience, it is absolutely critical that proper eye protection is used at all times. Even during the brief moments of totality, viewing the sun directly before or after can cause serious and permanent eye damage within seconds. The sun's intense visible and ultraviolet light is capable of literally burning the retina without anyone feeling pain for many minutes. Partial eclipses when the sun is only partially blocked out are even more dangerous as the full intensity of sunlight remains. For safe viewing when any part of the solar disk is visible, certified eclipse glasses or handheld solar filters are required. Ordinary sunglasses are not dark enough and can transmit invisible infrared and ultraviolet rays that will still burn the eyes. Homemade filters like aluminum foil or smoked glass should also never be used, as they may not block out all harmful wavelengths either. During the partial phases, Telescopes or binoculars must have a certified solar filter firmly attached to the front opening to be considered safe, as they magnify the sunlight enormously otherwise. It is important for anyone planning to view the eclipse to acquire the proper equipment well in advance, as demand will be high and online retailers may sell counterfeits. Educational outreach prior to the event will be vital to spread awareness of eye safety and discourage risky behaviors like trying to view the partial phases directly without protection. While the desire to witness this rare sight may inspire some to take chances, permanent eye damage is not worth the risk for even a fleeting glimpse. With proper precautions, everyone can safely enjoy this celestial show nature provides. While the 2024 total solar eclipse promises some dazzling views of the sun's outer atmosphere, the scientific value comes from carefully studying these observations after the fact. To gain meaningful insights, astronomers will need to record high-quality data using an array of specialized instruments. Both amateur and professional scientists are eager to analyze the images, spectra, and timing of solar events captured during this optimal period of solar maximum activity. Detailed photos of prominences, the corona, and any solar eruptions can be studied long after to glean information about magnetic field structure and plasma dynamics. By comparing sequences of images from multiple sites along the path of totality, 3D models may be constructed to better understand large-scale processes. Spectrographs split the sunlight into colors and can reveal properties like electron densities and temperatures at various heights. When combined with data from space-based observatories, a more complete picture of activity throughout the solar atmosphere can be derived. Citizen scientists will play an important role by contributing their observations to larger public databases. Professional analysts can then pool together complementary data sets, achieving insights greater than any single vantage point. Amateurs also help expand the geographic coverage, as clear skies may prevail in one area while clouds obscure another. International collaborations pooling observations from the 2024 eclipse path in North America with any other eclipses occurring elsewhere on the same day will further enrich the scientific bounty. Careful calibration of instruments and standardized methodologies are needed to realize the full potential of this vast data collection effort. But the payoff of a well-coordinated observational campaign during such a propitious time could lead to new leaps in the understanding of our life-giving star. Well, that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe.